Okay, Atlanta, let's talk real estate. Inventory is up, rates are high, rent isn't getting cheaper, and everyone's asking the same question. Should I buy now or should I wait? If you've been doom scrolling housing headlines, worried the market's crashing, or the Fed's destroying your dreams, stop. Remain calm. Just take a breath for a second. In this video, we're going to dive into the 2025 Atlanta real estate market, what's really going on, what you can expect, and whether this is your window of opportunity to buy.
Cora, get the dog, please!
You know we're realtor moms, so this is our life, keeping it real. I'm Jennifer, living in the North Atlanta suburbs. My business partner and I make videos about what it's really like to live in the Atlanta area. So let's get into it. Okay, so here is an Atlanta real estate reality check. Homes of the metro area are over 30% year over year, one of the highest levels that we've seen since 2020. We're seeing more homes on the market, longer days on the market, and yes, more price reductions. And just so we're clear, today I'm talking about the greater Atlanta market. Normally we talk a lot about the North Atlanta suburbs, but many micro markets in the greater Atlanta area are experiencing this similar trend, but it's important to note that they're not all the same. There are pockets still experiencing multiple offers and buyers finding themselves in competitive situations. So we can help you determine, what's going on in any particular neighborhood that you're interested in. So let's focus now on why is the demand down? It's not that people don't want to buy, it's that they just can't afford to, and it's been this trend over the past couple years. High interest rates and low affordability have really made purchasing a home difficult. Today, we are seeing the most balanced market that Atlanta's had in nearly 5 years. This means that there's more leverage for buyers. Things like seller concessions, rate buydowns, and fewer bidding wars. Hey, but listen, we're not in a crash. This is simply a much needed correction, and buyers are feeling it now. So I went for probably 3 years working with buyers to help them win a house. Not to get a deal, but just to actually get a house to live in. This year, and especially in the last couple months, buyers are getting deals. I just closed on this house last week, and guess what my buyers got? A new roof, seller paid closing costs, and nearly 3% off the asking price. The house was listed for 3 days in a prime location. So are there opportunities opening up for buyers? I would say absolutely. And by the way, if you're wondering how my buyer was able to win big, reach out or schedule an appointment to chat. All the information is below, and we'll share with you how we made that happen. So let's move on to when should you buy in Atlanta? The answer is often 5 years ago, but if you missed that opportunity, let's look for the next one. Buying a home isn't about timing the market perfectly. It's about timing your life. So ask yourself, do you have job stability? Do you plan to live in Atlanta for the next several years? Do you have your finances in order? If the answer is yes, then you might be in a great position to buy, especially in neighborhoods where prices are softening, but quality inventory, that means homes coming onto the market, is growing. But if you're only buying because you think rates are going to drop significantly in the next 6 months, or if you are experiencing that dreaded FOMO, you might want to pause. Let's talk about why buying makes sense. Here's why I believe 2025 might actually be your year. Rising inventory. That means more houses coming on the market, which equals more leveraged. Increased listings mean more competition among the sellers, and it's better for the buyer. This leads to price reductions. It leads to sellers paying for your closing costs and builder incentives. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. So the next thing is interest rates are stabilizing. While rates aren't what they were in 2020, analysts project the 30-year mortgage to hover around 6.3% to 6.5% through 2025. That means no longer a need to wait for the rates to drop. There's less volatility. It's easier to plan your finances. And if rates do drop, woohoo, you could refinance, and that's bonus money in your pocket. Another reason to buy is that builders are getting desperate. New construction is finally within reach. Just make sure you do your due diligence and inspect carefully. Builders in Atlanta suburbs like Cumming and Woodstock, which are desirable areas, are offering 20+K in incentives, rate buydowns, reduced closing costs, or having a lender pick up those closing costs for you. Builders are also offering free basements. Check out our video on new construction neighborhoods in East Cobb, and you'll see what we mean. You also have an opportunity for free upgrades, and that means, the type of cabinet confidence you'll get in the kitchen counters and things like that. So there are plenty of opportunities. Okay, so I just talked about the market factors encouraging buying now, but also in Atlanta, you can employ some strategies like looking for homes in great school districts like the North Atlanta suburbs that may need a little TLC, or purchasing between August and December, which is traditionally a less competitive time to buy in Atlanta, which will allow you to build up more quickly and help with affordability. Okay, let's talk about this. Renting is not saving you money. Here's the tough truth. Atlanta rents are still rising. Since 2020, rent has increased by 35% in the Atlanta area. Although rent prices decreased slightly at the end of 2024, they are on the rise again. Currently, the average rent price in the metro area is over $2,000, and that's based on some data from Zillow. And in fact, many renters are now paying more than they would pay for a mortgage on a similar type property. Let's not forget, there's no 30-year fixed rent. Your rent will likely go up 3 to 5% per year. You're building zero equity and funding someone else's life. You're dealing with landlords who don't want to fix anything. And in a lot of cases, you're having to move every year. That does not sound like fun to me. Meanwhile, homeowners lock in monthly payments, giving you a consistent budget. And if you get an opportunity to refinance, like I said, you have just lowered those payments. Homeowners build long-term wealth. The real estate market trends up always. I'm not saying that there are not dips from time to time, but over the long term, your equity will increase, which in turn increases your wealth. Homeowners pay themselves, not a landlord. Let's talk a minute about why home ownership builds wealth. The average homeowner in the U.S. has 40 times the net worth than a renter. Why? Every mortgage payment builds equity. Homes appreciate over time. Atlanta's long-term average is 4 to 5% annually. And while your equity may not be growing at the same rate we saw during the pandemic years, it is growing, and you're going to be better off in the long run. You gain stability and control. You have options. You can watch that equity grow year over year, or you can put it to work for you by using some of that equity to buy another property to rent or fund renovations to your current house, which increase your home value. But let's be real. Buying isn't right for everyone, and here's when you should wait. You plan to leave Atlanta within 2 to 3 years. You're counting on refinancing to be able to afford the payment. And like I just talked about, in the short term, interest rates are not likely to go down significantly. You have no emergency funds or savings, and your job or income is unstable. Real estate is a long game, not a quick win. So if you are making this decision, focus on what you can control, and that is not the Fed decisions, not inflation, and not global politics. What you can control is your credit score. Boosting your score gets you better interest rates, lower monthly payments, and more buying power. And a lot of times, a good lender can help you figure out how to do this. You're in control of your down payment. The more you save, the more confident you feel. Can't afford that $3,500 a month mortgage yet? Well, try this. Pay your current rent, take the difference, bank it, build your down payment, and practice for the future. And lastly, you can control your stability. If you're confident in your career and your desire to stay in Atlanta, you're already ahead of most people. So should you buy a home in Atlanta in 2025? If you're financially stable, planning long-term, and tired of rent hikes, yes, this market might be your window of opportunity. But if you're hoping to flip in 2 years and are banking on rates to save your budget, pause. Do the work now so you're ready when the moment comes. But just remember, waiting also has its risks. Higher home prices, higher rent, fewer choices when demand returns. So stop looking for a crash. Start watching for your opportunity. This video has helped clarify your thoughts on buying a home in Atlanta. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe for more weekly market updates, and let me know in the comments, are you planning to buy in 2025? And what area of Atlanta do you have your eye on? Thanks for visiting our channel, and we'll see you next week.